you know about love? Well, you said our love would be. Well, you said you were my girlfriend. Some girl you turned out to be. Sometimes your life it might crumble, but then your soul might make you stumble. But you can't drown in your own sorrow. Oh, 'cause you might be found tomorrow. Donavon Frankenreiter, what you know about. Welcome back to another one chart lesson. Today we're going to rip this song apart. It's very, very simple, but it's very groovy. And the main thing that you need to conquer in this song to get it sounding good is that groove, that strumming rhythm that he uses. And I'm going to break that down for you. So download your chart and let's get into it. The chords are very simple. We've got C sus2, which is an A-shaped bar chord on the 3rd fret for a C, but with that note lifted off the B string back down to the bar fret. So it looks like this. No E string, A string 3rd fret, D string 5th, G string 5th, B string 3rd, E string 3rd fret. C sus2. That's kind of our home base for this song. Now the other chord is a G7. He uses a G sometimes, moves to a G7. Keep them all bar chords. I know you can play Gs as open chords, but for the purposes of our rhythm and our muting, then we're going to use bar chords for this song. So G, G7, the other chords in the bridge, or the chorus I should say, are E minor, which is an open chord, F, which we're using as a bar chord, and G, and the G7. So chords are very simple. The riff that we begin with, start with your 3rd finger, slide from the 3rd fret on the B string up to the 5th fret on the B string. Just go, come back down to your 1st finger on the 3rd fret, reach across with your 2nd finger to the G string 4th fret, hit the 4th fret, slide down to 2, lift off to the open string. That is our riff. That happens right throughout the song. I've written on your chart the first couple of times that it happens, fully out in tab. Then after that, I've just put it above the tab lines in brackets, so it says riff. That's where you play that riff, and the only times when it's fully tabbed out are the times when the drums stop as well with the guitar. Everything kind of stops, and then it comes back in after that riff. I hope that's pretty straightforward. I've tried to make it as simple as possible, like I always do with these charts. Let's try that again. And you land on the C2. Now, we're into the rhythm. The strumming rhythm for this, it's all about the 16th notes. So to do this song properly, you need to be able to strum your 16th notes. Whether you are using a pick or fingers, it's that 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. And you'll notice that every one is a downstroke. Every E in these 16th note patterns, if you count 1 E and A, every E and A, if that doesn't sound too stupid, is on an upstroke. Basically, in your 16th note pattern, your odd numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, are all downstrokes. Your even numbers are all upstrokes. And if you kind of keep that in mind, you can simplify these rhythms and map that 16th note pattern out onto a grid, which means that you never really have to worry about whether your hand is moving in the right direction on the right beat, because you want your hand to be kind of spelling out that 16th note pattern almost automatically on autopilot. Down, up, 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 down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep that in mind. As we go into this rhythm, you're doing one strum on the C sus2, first beat. It lasts for 3 16th notes. So what that means is that on the 4th 16th note, which is an up strum, you start a little series of 1, 2, 3, 4 muted strums. So we do that by not lifting our hands off the chord, but just releasing the pressure. So we go from that, release the pressure, and the chord becomes muted. So it's 1 E and A, 2 E and A. And on that last A, because that would be the fifth one, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, you press back on so you get that chord spelling out again. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and then you're muting again, and you're doing a series of 5 of those muted strums. It's 5 16th notes. That sounded like I spent a lot of time describing that, but it sounds like this. Those 5 at the end get you into the next bar or the next chord, right? So G7. Then you stop on the first beat of the next bar with the G7, do that riff, and you're back into the C sus2. And if you land on the G there instead of the G7, it doesn't matter, it's fine. That's pretty much your verse, going back and forth between the C sus2 and the G7. Then as we move into the change, it's E minor, and the strumming pattern is pretty much the same here. So we go E minor, F, G, G7. 'Cause you might be found tomorrow. Back into another verse. And that's kind of all there is to this song. When you get to the solo, there's no riff in it. So as the harmonica comes into the solo, we're just going from C sus2 to G7. Now throughout this song you will hear a second acoustic guitar in there, which I think might even be G-Love playing it, but when you hear some notes that are kind of outside of what I've just described with that strumming pattern, it's probably that other guitar. Now the second guitar, whoever it is, will actually spell out a harmony to that riff sometimes. It'll actually spell out something that goes... things like that. So if you hear that, that's what's happening. Don't get distracted by that. Stick with the guts of it, because if you stop too much to try and, do that second guitar part, you might lose a bit of that rhythm. So that's kind of all there is to it. Then finally at the end, after they chorus out forever and ever, 'cause you might be found tomorrow. I said you might be found tomorrow. You go through that 4-bar pattern for that chorus a total of 4 times, and then on the final one, whoops, on the very last time you stop on that G, that riff slows down and you land on the C sus2. And that is the end of the song. Great song by Donavon Frankenreiter. His whole first album is just a jam-packed full of gems for acoustic guitar. I'm going to be doing more of those down the track, so stay tuned. But if you like this lesson, let me know. Please let me know what your next favorite Donavon Frankenreiter song to do would be for a lesson. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you here again soon.